early birds and night owls. It's Nox with the first of what may or may not be many personal updates to come. And I say may or may not because many seems like a lot, and I don't want to bombard you guys with too much about my life or Lux's life or whatever may become of, these personal updates. Anyway, I figured I'd put some Mini Metro in the background because it's a pretty relaxing game. Well, for the most part, it can get pretty hectic, but it's generally one of the games that I use when I want to kind of just chill out for a bit, and then as soon as it gets too crazy, I just close it out in rage. Yeah, rage quit it right here. Anyway, as I said, this is a personal update. So if knowing anything about my life doesn't interest you, then just feel free to click away. So first off, I want to apologize for being missing in action for the last 2.5 months. I know I haven't been gone for the whole time, but I've been gone for a fair amount of that time, and I feel really, really guilty and really sorry about that. I've had a fairly rough summer and couldn't really figure out how to tell you guys about it. I thought about making smaller update videos rather than something like this one, but whenever I sat down to do them, it just couldn't really get my thoughts together. It just didn't make any sense, and nothing was really set in stone in terms of what I'm going to talk about in a second, so I didn't really want to, just say things and then be like, hey, I'm back for good now, and then disappear a week later, because I don't want to be a flip-flopper like that at all. I try not to be that kind of person, okay? And that's basically why I held off on saying anything overall. I know I said a few things on Twitter, but I tried not to make any promises because I didn't really know where things were going because of my situation. So, what is my situation? Well, we all have our demons or monsters or whatever you may call them that we must deal with, and mine just so happened to be in my head. So for almost 20 years now, I've battled the likes of depression, panic disorder, and insomnia. And you see, when it comes to these guys, there are some periods of time that are better than others, and then there are the darker periods. Well, back in June, I entered one of those darker periods, and I was prescribed some meds that I had previously been on, which had been actually helpful in the past, which is good, right? Well, turns out, this time they sent me to the hospital. I know, it's just suddenly what? These meds worked for you before, and now suddenly I'm going to the hospital. It wasn't because I took too many of them. No. It turns out that I'm somehow super sensitive to medications. So what this means is that I experience more side effects than people normally do, and the strength of those side effects is amplified because, of course that would happen. And June was also a particularly messed up month because I managed to temporarily paralyze my hands by setting up IKEA furniture by myself. Yeah, I did that. Note to the wise, listen to the included instructions and don't set up a bedroom set all by yourself. It's not worth it, okay? It's really not worth it. Anyway, I was prescribed and took different meds in mid-July. And I got a sinus infection. That's right, yeah. I took an antidepressant, and I got a sinus infection. I don't even know, okay, my body's just really, really weird. And at the same time, I also managed to hit my head hard enough to get a concussion, so I needed a lot of rest that time. That was the 18th moving onward, I believe, July 18th moving onward. But yeah, lesson learned, you guys, beware of plastic hampers. They're more dangerous than they look. You never know. You never know when one might just show up right next to you and then you just ram your head right into it. That's exactly what happened to me. I don't even want to go on about that. Anyway, moving on. So at the beginning of August, it was 2 weeks ago, I was prescribed yet another type of medication. Cue insane side effects oh my gosh. So the worst of these was insomnia, which on top of my pre-existing insomnia meant that I was not getting any sleep at all. If you have ever gone for nearly 2 days without a second of sleep, you might understand what I went through. You might understand just how bad things got. Nothing made sense. Words were ridiculously hard. Things didn't even look like what they were supposed to look like. I don't even know. It was I went into some other dimension. I don't even know how to explain it. It is a weird time, and as much as I wanted to put out content for you guys, I just couldn't do it because the quality would have been poo. Like, literally. It would have been stinky, gross, and you wouldn't have wanted to touch it with a 60-foot pole, okay? And if you're wondering how I'm not dead yet because, I didn't sleep, well, it's because after 2 days, I somehow managed to get an hour or two of sleep each day. Obviously, that's not good enough, and even then, I couldn't bring myself to do it because things wouldn't have made much sense. I know normally I probably don't make much sense. I do rant and ramble a little bit, but it was a lot worse then. So, why I waited until now to make this update is because I just had an appointment with my doctor on Tuesday, and we finally found a combination of medication that works for me. So this is good. This is good because now, even though, the medication does give me side effects, which is why I haven't really been back just yet, or why I'm not actually posting anything today, it works, and I'm starting to feel much better, and I'm finally getting good sleep. So, now I can say that even though I'm still catching up on my sleep debt, I'm back. New content will be back tomorrow with 2 videos per day, as has been the usual. Again, I apologize for making you guys wait so long, but I couldn't bring myself to put out videos that were below my standards. When I was sleep deprived, let me just say, instead of, just being a little rambly is one problem, but I also get really philosophical and affectionate, which makes for some really, really weird conversations. Like, maybe I'll live stream it someday, but just it was not a good thing for, regular Let's Play. Ew, gosh, I would have gone as some kind of fail type thing. If, I was a bigger YouTuber or anything like that, I would have gone into a fail video. But, yeah. So, before I say my goodbyes, I want to know how I can better reach out to you all about schedule changes and whatnot. Well, with me being on a roller coaster ride with these medications, and I'm actually going to school next week, although it's, online classes, but still, it's going to take up a little bit more of my time. Well, I know there will be days when I can't keep my schedule, and I don't like disappearing without a word. It bothers me so much, and I feel so guilty, and I just want to, rant and ramble all over Twitter and Facebook and trying to reach out to you guys like, hey, this is what's happening. Well, I want to know how I can reach out to you guys. Like, I still try to keep up on Twitter, but I feel like it's not enough. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like, I'm open to any suggestions, so please do not hold back. And as always, thank you so much for watching and for sticking around, and have an awesome night.